くずの中丸めた想い紙くずのまま気づかれるように
Toradora, a show with romance, drama, and of course lovable tsunderes, which may sound like a very simple description, but that's really what it crumbles down to. Despite this though, it remains to this day one of my all-time favourite anime, all down to the amazing journey you are presented with, because from start to end, Toradora is a fucking fun show.
Maybe I did the same thing to Yasu. Selfish. That's what I am.
As you can probably imagine, I've seen a lot of drama series. It's my favourite type of anime because when it's done well, it's something incredibly enjoyable, and like I've said, the journey is just fun to watch. Toradora is a great example of exactly this. It's an anime that feels real and doesn't need to resort to throwing tits at you like dodgeballs to keep your attention. Okay, well, most of the time. That's the thing though, Toradora is not trying to be something it isn't. It's a school rom-com at heart all the way through, and I adore them for sticking to that. With Toradora, you follow two main characters, Taiga, quite possibly one of the best tsunderes ever, and Ryūji, as they go about helping each other go after their respective love interests. With this setup, it does sound like a lot of other anime out there, and I had that exact same thought going through me at the time. Oh look, here's a protagonist that's about as thick as a melon, and a stroppy bitch that I won't be able to stand by the end. Turns out though, I couldn't have been any more wrong. The way Toradora is able to portray romance is hands down my fundamental favourite part of the show. It's multidimensional in nature, and Toradora encapsulates this idea perfectly. It's not clean cut and it's not all nice. In fact, it can be very raw and upfront when dealing with various issues. To put it bluntly, Toradora understands love. It stands out to me because it's everything the genre can be. Sure, I will genuinely admit it's set up on a foundation of cliches, but what it's able to do is take these and develop everything in a way that is much more fun than your standard show. Toradora feels real. The sad moments do feel legitimately sad because it's actually built up prior to the intense moments occurring. The thing is, a climax is present in Toradora, and that completes the show for me. I don't want to see relationships or drama suddenly appear from characters I feel nothing for, and that's exactly what it avoids. Granted, leaving the ultimate relationship so late in the story does lead to one of the major flaws with the show. I want to see more. In terms of after-story-esque sequels I'd like to see, Toradora is a show that's up there on the list. It's not even just Taiga and Ryūji. By the end I found myself enjoying nearly the whole cast. I want to point out Taiga in particular, who is very much a tsundere by definition, but what makes her special is she has legitimate reasons for acting how she does. Taiga is someone who is molded by her past. She's not just aggressive to be aggressive, which is probably what I hate most about typical tsunderes. Even Army, basically a bitch with a heart, could also be classed as a tsundere on the surface. However, there's actually so much more to her than you'd first think. They gave a fan service character personality, which is something. I hate black and white characters, and there's not all that many in Toradora, which is so refreshing. Ryūji works as a rom-com protagonist. It doesn't just feel like you could replace him with any other guy, and I could make a very long list on shows with that problem. The interactions between him and Taiga are by far some of my favourite parts of the show. Now granted, there are characters that I dislike, especially in the supporting cast, but for the most part, everyone in the main spotlight is just great. Okay, so this wouldn't be a proper review if I didn't highlight the flaws, and the visuals is definitely the biggest for Toradora. The animation is handled by JC staff, who through most of the show do a fairly adequate job. Sure, it's not PA Works or KyoAni standards, but it never was going to be. Sometimes though, you get in between frames that look like this, and well, I think the picture speaks for itself. Everything else, of course with some exceptions, is passable for what Toradora is. For voice acting, the Japanese is as always great. You have the award-winning Seiyu Ri Kugayama voicing Taiga, who apparently has the tagline Queen of Tsundere, so you know she's gonna do a fairly good job. Surprisingly, contrary to the wide opinion, I really enjoy the English dub too. For once, they actually sound like unstable teenagers and seem to fit their roles much more effectively than even most Funimation dubs. Taiga in particular was really well done. Don't get me wrong, whoever it was is no Queen of Tsunderes, but I did enjoy it, and honestly, if you prefer to watch a dub if it's of good quality, I'd recommend it. Backing this up is a great choice of music, boasting a balance of calming to intense tracks that are quite good both in and out of the show. Toradora has a tendency to leave you on massive cliffhangers, and the music allowed for that to be even more effective. Now, as far as the opening and endings, I've got very mixed feelings, although opening 2 and some stuff on the character album are a couple of my favourite tracks from any drama series. I do love my rom-com, so obviously this review turned out heavily biased due to that fact. Really, on paper, Toradora is a lot like other anime in its genre, but what it's able to do is utilize pacing and development, something which is misused all the time, and in my mind it's the closest thing I've seen to perfection come out of school rom-coms. For that reason, I want to give it the first Anime Planet Gold approval. The series is available on Crunchyroll in both sub and dub, and it also has physical releases in the UK via MVM Films, who are kind enough to send me a copy, and of course North America and Australia. Now, if Toradora leaves you in the void, I'd recommend Nagi no Asakura, another favourite of mine, leading much more towards drama, which is always a good thing. If you want a more juicy romance, I'd recommend Clanad, which I'm pretty sure everyone has recommended to you at some point. Trust me, just watch it for After Story, it's very good. With that said, thank you for watching, I've been Russ, and have a great night, or day. Oh yeah, and fuck you, Callum, I made a video.